check in, relax, take a shower. And I picked this up a long time ago because it was very, 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 very cheap. And it has a 30-minute making of and a commentary with the director Gus Van Sant, actors Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche. And it was A, because I knew I would do reviews for these one day, and B, it was dirt cheap, like under $2, I think, around that. And three, or C, to get an explanation as to why. I think anyone who watches this 1998 remake of Psycho, they always ask the same question. They ask, why? I'm looking at my camera, I'm looking here. Looking at my camera, I'm looking at the screen where I can see myself. I'm asking both and everyone out there, why? Do you have a shot-for-shot remake? Now, remakes, you watch a remake and you go, well, man, they changed some stuff. That doesn't mean I want the exact fucking same every step of the way. It's that you compare and you go, one did it better than the other. If you have the same name, it's going to happen. That doesn't mean you want a shot-for-shot remake. And hell, there are remakes I enjoy. Dawn of the Dead remake, Hills of Eyes remake. I don't mind the Friday the 13th one. And I guess they're making a sequel. Well, not even it's not a sequel and it's not a reboot. It's just a Friday the 13th film that takes place in the 80s. Whatever the fuck that means. I mean, it's not a sequel, it's not a reboot. It's something. Anyway, that's not what this is about. John Carpenter's The Thing. Some people don't call it a remake, but I'll put it in this case. I love that movie. I love Chuck Russell's The Blob. I love David Cronenberg's The Fly. Hell, 3 Men and a Baby technically is a remake because it was a remake of a French film. Now, am I the biggest fan of the original Psycho? No. But I have gained respect for that movie because there's the performances by Anthony Perkins alone, the technical aspects of Alfred Hitchcock and how he directed, Janet Leigh, what he did back in 1960. So while Psycho I can appreciate at least, I can respect Psycho for what it did. This film has no respect, and I burped there because that's how much respect I did for this fucking movie. Because Gus Van Sant, I like Good Will Hunting. I know he's directed stuff. This was his art film school project. That's pretty much what it was. It was, hey, let's do something like you would have in film school, and we're going to do a project. What would happen if you took the same movie and you reshot it, shot for shot, dialogue for dialogue? You can change some teeny tiny aspects, which I'll get into, but let's change some tiny teeny stuff. But it's pretty much the same film shot for shot. If you saw that one, you saw this film. What would happen if you made it in color? You modernize it by little teeny bits. You have different actors. Would it have the same effect? Would it make you feel differently watching it? Would you feel the same as that film? Would you feel it differently? And if for people who had never seen that film, would they go into this film thinking the same way as they did in the original film? Feeling the same way that they did of the original film? And also, they bring up in the documentary and the making of, and as well as the fucking commentary. And the reason I swore is because some of it passed by my fucking bald head, and I'm like, so it's like when they do plays or they do shows, theater, Shakespeare. You have Hamlet and Macbeth, and you have stuff like The Taming of the Shrew. And you have plays and theaters, and hell, even nowadays you have the producers, and it's the same dialogue, and they're doing the same stuff. And for Gus Van Sant, a remake is a remake. You don't change too much. That's what Gus Van Sant's thoughts of a remake. And it's, again, this whole project experiment. It was an experiment. Yeah, as fucking Kevin Dillon would say in The Blob, another remake that's a good one. It's an experiment that got fucked up. It's hard to say What the hell do you say of a movie that is the same goddamn movie as that one, only the little changes? I know there's some people like, well, who don't care for black and white. Seriously? Is black and white that big of a deal? That's in black and white? I don't mind if a film is black and white. The 30s movies, Frankenstein and Dracula, The Thief from Another World in the 50s, Clerks, Ed Wood. I mean, hell, there's other black and white movies that I don't mind. And I could have saved everyone a lot of money and fucking time by telling you no. When you do a shot for shot remake of a film, it doesn't work. Because A, it's going to be compared to the original. B, let's be honest, there's a lot of people who see movies who don't give a shit about plays. I hate plays. I don't go to the theater, but I like watching movies. So you have a bunch of people who don't give a shit about the theater, and then watching this and going, hey, I don't give a fuck what your experiment is. All I can see is, hey, this is a shitty version of another movie. It's a great experiment. And the little changes you did was stupid. Yeah, I love that. Know how Vince Vaughn sounds like when he jerks his chain. Great. When he's playing with his fucking Twinkie, I know how he moans and I know how he groans. Great. Vince Vaughn. Ooh, ah. So the guy who's like in Sweeners and Fred Claus, and the movie where he had all the kids and insemination, whatever the hell that movie was. Great, I know what he sounds like when he jerks off. Thank God, movie. I'm glad I get to know that piece of info that I can live with forever. And that's the thing. When you watch this film, it's the same music, Bernard Herrmann. Even though Danny Elfman's name is somewhere on here, and I'm like, man, that must have been the easiest job. And that's another thing. This film is fucking lazy. It must have been the easiest fucking job because all you did was copy and paste Gus Van Sant. Hey, you have a DVD. He literally had a DVD. Okay, that's how it was. Okay, that's how we're going to do this. Hell, if someone else did it, they'd be fucking sued for copyright. But Universal released this. And what's sad is this DVD has a collector's edition. This is when Universal did collector's editions on most of their movies back in the day. There's a lot of good movies that are not even on fucking DVD, but this has a fucking collector's edition with a commentary and a 30-minute making of. But you just look at the casting. Anne Heche, I don't mind Anne Heche in certain movies. Volcano and 6 Days, 7 Nights. I don't mind Anne Heche, but she does not do that great of a job, especially compared to Janet Leigh. Ed Heche is not that great in this movie. Vince Vaughn is one of the worst miscastings in film history as Norman Bates. And you just say, yeah, he's putting his own touch into it. What, you want him to copy it? It's a shitty version of Norman Bates. Because right from the get-go, first of all, Vince Vaughn is totally miscast. He is so awkward in this movie. From frame one, you know he's a fucking psycho. He's a fucking wonky psycho that you need to run for the hills. But then, so you think of Anne Heche as a fucking idiot for staying there when he's having the same fucking scene as the original, only done in a piss poor manner. Because you have two actors who are not as good as the actors in the previous movie. Anthony Perkins is a big reason why those Psycho films work, and this is the absolute worst Psycho film. All those previous films have some good merits, and they're better movies. Okay, the rest of the cast, I did give props to Julianne Moore because I don't mind her as an actress. I like her as an actress. Viggo Mortensen, I like him as an actor. William H. Macy, I liked him as an actor. You have Robert Forster, I like him as an actor. So I give props to that. And that's it. I wish those other actors were just making a different, better movie. I mean, first I could just say, of course, Psycho didn't need to be made. But it's just the shot-for-shot remake. This experiment was fucking pointless. Useless. That's what most people say. It's pointless, it's useless, and it's bullshit. Ooh, the stuff added. Oh, Vince Vaughn is jerking it. So I know how it sounds like when Vince Vaughn masturbates. Great. Norman Bates masturbates. Great. Fucking fantastic. And then, like little things, little teeny things. For example, when the shower scene, you have a subliminal picture of the clouds getting ready for a storm. Or when William H. Macy dies, you have subliminal pictures of, oh, here's a fucking naked chick with a blindfold and a fucking cow or something in the middle of the fucking road. Why don't you just make it a fucking white horse? Of course. Vince Vaughn, I'm sorry, he is awkward and he is fucking awful. Again, from frame one, you know he's fucking kooky and fucking psychotic. That's different from the original. Yeah, it's a shittier version. You made a character less interesting. Bravo. If that's the change, great. You made a character less interesting. At least Anthony Perkins, he was innocent. You could understand, hey, he seems like a decent guy. He seems like a good guy. You feel sorry for him. Even after shit that he's done, you feel sorry for him. Vince Vaughn, I'm like, huh. His little chuckle stuff, and might as well be a fucking chucklehead. Little differences. Oh, instead of 40,000 that she stole, it's 400,000. And Julianne Moore has headphones. And in the beginning, when Anne Hage and Viggo Mortensen are in the apartment, you hear banging, so someone else is fucking in the hotel. Like little changes like that, which is it becomes so pointless. You're like, why the fuck was he even done? Or stupid. These little subliminal things and him masturbating and oh great, those are the things you change. I don't changing it or making it the same depends if it's for the better. No, little changes are for the stupid. And then another shit is shot for shot. That's like, fuck it, why don't we just make it? At least Alfred Hitchcock made that shit up in his head. And Joseph Stefano made it up for that movie in his head. This is just copy and paste. Copy the dialogue and paste it. Change teeny tiny things. It's such the laziest fucking thing of filmmaking. Just copy and paste. I mean, even if a film school project, you're like, man, would a teacher even give you passing grades? Like, what the fuck you doing? Make something your own. Hell, if you gave me, what was the budget? 20 million, 30 million? I've heard 60 million, 20 million, 30 million. If you gave me, which had no knowledge of filmmaking, 20 million, I had to do a shot-for-shot remake. Does that have 20 million fucking dollars? Or 30 million, or 40 million? I think the original was like under $1 million. And then what? I mean, they changed the Psycho house. Okay, it's a shittier looking house. The Psycho house in the original looks better. The house in this looks shittier. Great, there's a change. Except you went backwards. If you don't want to do a change, shouldn't you go forwards? There was nothing interesting to outside of the new house. Which, weirdly enough, they put in front of the old house. I mean, you have little changes. For example, when the first time Viggo Mortensen, Vince Vaughn, those characters get into a fight, uh, it's not really a fight. It's Vince Vaughn sucker hits him with like a golf club or something like that. I don't know, some kind of club. While in that film, it was a struggle, and then Anthony Perkins hits him on the head. And then later on, when he comes out and you find out, oh shit. In the original, it was just a struggle, and then you reveal the dress rips apart of Norman Bates. Here, it's more of a fight, little teeny fight between Viggo Mortensen and Vince Vaughn, and then Julianne Moore comes up and kicks Norman Bates in the face. So they're like teeny tiny changes like that. But how is it in? Big explanation, this time by Robert Forster, and then the same shot. Norman Bates looking, Vince Vaughn looking, the same fucking dialogue, smiling. Only it's just not as good. It's the same shit, only not as good. So it's the worst. This is why people consider one of the worst fucking remakes of all time. Just one of the worst fucking. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's what Gus Van Sant wanted. Maybe Gus Van Sant, his whole fucking point was I'm gonna do this so that no one else would ever fucking do this again. Okay, Gus Van Sant. Okay, you deserve applause for that. When this got made, no one ever decided to do a shot-for-shot remake again. I don't know how many fucking people thought of doing one in the first place, though. And people are like, well, uh, some people in the making of that Psycho didn't have as much impact in the culture as it did back in the day. And then they asked like younger people out on the streets, and they didn't know what Psycho was. These people probably don't know what many movies are. But Psycho, not in the... I don't understand that. I mean, you had sequels, you had TV movies, you had TV... What was that? The older Bates Motel. Then you have the new TV show. I mean, this is before that, but I mean, you saw Psycho parodies all the time. Psycho parodies in how many movies, how many TV shows, even fucking Bugs Bunny had a Psycho parody. And, that was maybe that was after this, the Looney Tunes, one of the Looney Tunes movies. But for some reason, I remember one of the older cartoons. There was like there was Psycho references everywhere. So I don't know what the hell they were talking about. People know Norman Bates. That's like saying, who the hell's Dracula? But they didn't do a shot-for-shot remake of Dracula when they did Bram Stoker's Dracula. People are like, who the fuck is the Invisible Man? People know who the hell Invisible Man is. Like, okay, if you're talking about Rope with Alfred Hitchcock, then yeah, people may not know what the hell that movie is. But Psycho? I mean, come on. I mean, that's just pointless. And even then, you going into this, it's not like you don't know what the twist is. You know Anne Heche is gonna die, so this whole half of the film is fucking pointless because you already know. I mean, granted, the first, if you watch the original, you already know, but at least that was done in 1960, and that was, at least you just go, okay, back in 1960, they didn't know. That was the point. It was back in at least there's a reason you could give leniency on that. This, oh yeah, a remake that was almost 40 years later. People are not going to be surprised by the twist. And again, the first time you see Vince Vaughn, you already know he's fucking crazy. Of course, most people seeing this have already seen the original, so they already know everything that's going to happen because it's fucking shot for shot and dialogue for dialogue. And then you have to give this big explanation at the end, which is the same as that one, but I think it was cut a little bit shorter in this. But at the end, it's like, even people who had never seen that original film, they would go and they'd be like, you could guess it. I guarantee you, if someone who had never seen that original film, if they saw this, they'd be like, okay, Anne Heche's going to die. Why? Because look at this poster. Someone dies in a shower, and the only characters we hear is Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche. And then, okay, Vince Vaughn is creepy as fuck, so he's probably Psycho. And I've seen about 30 movies. Hell, I saw Friday the 13th with fucking a female killer. I've seen fucking Sleepaway Camp. I've seen a lot of movies with shit. I could probably guess what the ending is. This whole fucking film, anything I think about, it's lazy. Copy and paste. Where is the hard work in that? To copy and paste something. What's the fucking hard work? And then Vince Vaughn is horrible miscasting. I know you had other people. You had Christian Bale, Robert Sean Leonard, Joaquin Phoenix, Henry Thomas, really enough, who played him in Psycho for the beginning. I don't think you could have got anyone. It's because Anthony Perkins made that role his own. But even a lot of those, even like Robert Sean Leonard, Joaquin Phoenix, Christian Bale, who would be an American Psycho later on, they probably would have done better than Vince Vaughn. But that's the whole point. This fucking film is pointless and useless, and is a fucking waste of time. It's fucking waste. And I just broke a piece of it. The whole fucking film is a waste. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Oh, it's an experiment. Yeah, experiment that got fucked up. I could have told you before you spent a dime. I'm like, you know what? How about you give that money to me? I'll save you a lot of money. I'll even take a pay cut. Instead of spending $20 million, just give me $1 million, tax free. I'll tell you the experiment won't work. People don't think it's a piece of shit. People think it's going to be pointless and useless since they don't know why the fuck am I watching this. I'll just watch the original film. Newer people are not going to like it because they're like, the pacing is not right and the twists are easy to see and this and that because they've seen probably a lot of fucking horror slasher films that were influenced by Psycho. They've seen a lot of, hell, Brian De Palma films. They've seen a lot of horror films and non-horror films that are influenced by Hitchcock and Psycho. So they're going to see everything coming a mile away, even if they haven't seen the original film. And people who have seen it, it's like I'm watching rinse and repeat, copy and paste. And probably a lot of those people don't even go to the fucking theater. And I know even people who go to the theater and film are two different things. They are. I mean, and no, I didn't need to hear fucking Vince Vaughn moaning and stroking his giblets, jerking his chain, stroking his noodles, popping his it, so to speak. I don't know what the hell else to say about this movie. I mean, okay, yeah, your experiment, Gus Van Sant, that, oh, well, I did so no one else would do it, and a remake is you don't change much, and it's an experiment, and what would people see if they see the same film but with different actors, kind of like when people do plays, and okay, it was a useless, pointless fucking experiment in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions. That's why every time they think of this film, they go, why? Okay, Grant, maybe because of this film, no one else will ever do it again, so maybe, but fuck, then, the fact this got all this money, okay, shit, give me fucking body functions. I like Viggo Mortensen. I don't mind him in the role. Julianne Moore, William H. Macy, even Robert Forster. I don't mind him in the role. In fact, I'd probably say, I guess technically, I like Julianne Moore and Viggo Mortensen more as actors than the Vera Miles and the other guy that the characters played in the original Psycho. But they weren't bad. Like, I don't think the acting in the original Psycho was bad. But I'd probably say I like Julianne Moore and Viggo Mortensen and William H. Macy more. And Robert Forster more, but that's because I like those actors. But you can take all those people and just make a fucking different movie. Not a movie that, wow, this seems very familiar. I wonder fucking why. I mean, that's the thing, you're watching the film and you're ahead of the curve by 100 minutes, which is how long the movie is. When you're watching a film and you're ahead of it for, you know everything that's coming, even when you first see it, it just, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, again, positives. I like Viggo Mortensen. Again, I'd probably say I like him more than the guy in the original. But again, because I like Viggo Mortensen. Julianne Moore, her character is a little bit more aggressive. Like, again, the one little change, she kicks Norman Bates in the face. But again, I like Julianne Moore as an actress. But even the stuff they added in, the subliminal pictures you see every once in a while, and I didn't give a fuck if it was in color. Psycho was in color. I didn't give a fuck. Ooh, Psycho's in color. Whoop-de-doo. It was fine in black and white. I'm not even the biggest diehard fan of Psycho. But I respect it. I respect what it did. And, I will say, I have gained more respect throughout the years for Psycho. But I would say I still enjoy films like The Birds more. And again, Psycho I won't put in my top 100 horror films of all time. But at the same time, Psycho I at least respect. I didn't used to respect it. But I think seeing fucking movies like this that did make me respect it more. I'm like, Alfred Hitchcock, he actually did some stuff. And you watch it again, you see behind it. That's a film I'm going to say I do respect. This film, there's no reason to respect it because there's nothing to it. Copy and pasting is nothing to it. I mean, I can't believe I spent 25 minutes talking about a movie that's the fucking same movie I just reviewed not that long ago. I mean, again, even Oh, I wonder if the mother did it. Yeah, of course. You already know what's going to happen, and it just and even the younger generation is not going to like it because, to be honest, they want faster paced movies and they want more blood and gore and guts. And to be honest, and then when it's not even the best actor, and I'm talking about the main players, Janet Leigh and Anthony Perkins did a better job than Anne Heche and Vince Vaughn, and that's over half the film. And when you see it and say, "Oh, these two actors didn't do that great of a job," especially compared, it just makes you go, "Hey, you want to see it? Just see the original. Sit your ass down and see the original." Hell, my favorite Saito is Saito 2. I'll just go watch Saito 2. All the Saito films before are better than this movie, without a doubt, with no question about it. It's just a pointless, useless experiment. You know, I mean, oh, what the fuck? I mean, what the hell else do you say? I just